President Donald Trump is planning on addressing the nation tonight to talk about his strategy for the war in Afghanistan. The first family flew back to Washington, D.C. last night after spending much of the past month at their private golf club in New Jersey. The White House was being renovated. The war in Afghanistan is the United States' longest-running war. Fewer than 10,000 troops are in Afghanistan. On Friday, the president and his national security team met at Camp David to reach agreement on a war strategy. You'll be able to hear what the president has to say at 8 o'clock tonight, right here on WCCO.
WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler is back from vacation. Hi, Pat. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks. Anything happened while I was gone?
Yeah, one or two
Not
tweets.
really, no.
Pretty slow.
No big deal.
Yeah, wow.
Let's talk about this plan, though. Officials familiar. They expect 4,000 troops to be deployed.
Yeah, this is a really important thing tonight. President Trump will give his first speech to the nation. Very serious speech about something he talked about all the time in the campaign. During the campaign, he said he would withdraw all of the troops from Afghanistan. He would leave Afghanistan. You mentioned this is America's longest war, 16 years as of this morning. Reports that we're hearing today say he will increase the troop strength by 4,000 to 4,500. That's a lot different from what he said before. But in fairness, President Trump said he would rely on the generals, and this may be what the generals are recommending. What I'm going to be watching for tonight is something kind of interesting. The president has just been hammered over the last few weeks and the last few months about his moral authority. And after what's happened in the last couple of weeks, does the president have the moral authority to convince Americans that this is what America needs? So very interesting on a number of different levels, political and military, for America tonight.
4,000 soldiers doesn't sound like as many soldiers as you might expect for an address to the nation.
Right, and does it matter if 4,000 soldiers are going to be there, and are they going to be advisors? Are they going to be training Afghani troops? This is something that is such a big deal, though, because it's so long that, you're right, it doesn't seem like that big of a thing for a speech to the nation, which is why it's curious, important, and something we should all pay attention to.
Sure.
Pat, let's talk a little bit about these Confederate statues that are being taken down, because overnight workers at the University of Texas Austin, they actually began removing a few of those in one of the latest cities to take talk actions in the wake of Charlottesville. So what were some of your thoughts as kind of those events were playing out last week?
Yeah, this was remarkable, particularly the president's comments on the Tuesday press conference where he appeared to get angry and give equivalency, moral equivalency, to the Nazis and to the people who were protesting the Nazis, which has really, I think, damaged the presidency. But he has managed then to go sideways with this and make this about taking down statues, Confederate statues. Is it right? Is it wrong? Now, I kind of think that this should be decided on the local level. The city should decide it. The states should decide it, not the federal government. The federal government should probably not be involved in this. But it's the locals who can actually make the decisions, whether they put them in museums, whether they remove them completely. This is something that's going to be with us, not just for the next few weeks. I think this controversy will be with us for months.
Steve Bannon left.
Yep.
Another one goes, leaving the Trump
Steve
administration.
who?
Yeah, right. You know,
I mean, that's the thing now.
Trump won without him. Trump won without him. He didn't need him.
Well, this was kind of interesting, the president distancing himself from Steve Bannon at the end of last week, which he does before someone gets fired. Remember, we talked about this tweet. It was on July 12th. We talked about the president's tweet where he said, everything in the White House is working perfectly, nothing wrong here, plus I don't watch much TV, is what he said in that tweet. Since then, we've lost Sean Spicer, Steve Bannon, we've lost a lot of other folks, the people, Reince Priebus, the chief of staff, all of his inner circle around him. The only one left standing, really, is Vice President Pence, who was elected with the president. So this does appear to be a White House in disarray. Does this help? A lot of people are watching very closely, and the president's speech tonight, by the way, is the first one without the Bannon influence. So again, another reason to pay attention tonight.
Very good. Pat, thank you. We'll see you on our news tonight at 5 and 6. Grocery